Please turn to page 7 of the prayer book. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors' heart to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd like cloud, O Losang Dragpa, Dharma's omniscient King, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of I strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Sangdrapa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig say waiter chen chen rezig, dream kien say wang po jam pel yang, du pung malu jom ze song we dang, gang chen ke pe tsu gien song kapa, lo sang drag pe jabla so wadeb. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. Glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain and steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom shall be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the hosts of the three places Dakinis, Akasamaratsa Shadarasamriyafi. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive in perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji perki jukshin me to traha sun lama dampa kyenam ki chur kui kala kien se trin drigne jitar sampe du je zin ma la zab ye churki char pawab tu so idam guru ratna mandalakam niryatayami Churdak soki chognam la jangcho bardu dagni kapsuchi dagi churnyen gipe sonam ki drola penchir sange drupashu Churdak soki chognam la jangcho bardu dagni kapsuchi dagi churnyen gipe sonam ki drola penchir sange drupashu Churdang soki chognam la jangchu bardu dagni kapsuchi dagi churnyen gipe sonam ki drola penchir sange drupasho.
Okay, good evening. What are we going to talk?
How to use Dharma in our everyday lives.
Good. How you done your daily life? Let's put into practice. This is the true way. Anyway, it's hot. It's very hot, right? How about tomorrow?
Hot.
Same? Good. Just a couple days. Then cool down. No problem. Cool. Good. Okay. Anyway, everyday Dharma means what? Everyday nice. Be everyday nice. Keep temperature same all the time. This is everyday Dharma. Right? Dharma said always try to be calm, be nice, be relaxed, be flexible. Therefore, try to do that. This is everyday Dharma. Therefore, we talk about Dharma, it's a little bit easy, that do that everyday Dharma not easy. But try to much you can every day. Then today maybe I would like to talk a little bit about Lama Tsongkhapa. This maybe, it is, we have also very strong particular connection. It is also not complicated. If you go to very details, there are some details to explain about that. Also we can do condense. We can do condense also this one pray. Therefore, if you really know how you practice Dharma, it's not too complicated. If you don't know, then practice Dharma makes you also more uncomfortable, more nervous. Therefore, we need to very flexible, relax. Okay? And also, when you have time, when you do some daily practice, combined Kurukulla Lama Tsongkhapa is very good. Or even you don't have any other place, both to the refuge Bodhicitta, recite that, then after you can recite the Kurukulla Lama Tsongkhapa and also do the little bit meditation to visualization, to blessings come from Lama Tsongkhapa's heart and purify your own negative karmas. If your negative karmas also, they become colored like black smoke. Then go away from your body, speech, mind, like that. Then I think maybe I will go to the words. You can look at the page 15. I can do short explain. 아니 딱 가데라 제데 감소 미세가 가서도 통하면 되어야 되와. 아니 정말로 뭐 쪼고받은 데게 또 냠래 뱀무제가 내가 좀 보자 되게 그래.
So the Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga practice, because it's very strongly connected, with the practice that we do usually, and because of Lama Tsongkhapa's great blessing, it's very important to do this.
아니 뭐서 저서는 더 쳤어야 아니 지금 가들 하자단 데 미세마 들어와이나 다 텔은 하지 먹어로 요래.
And also for accumulation of merit, if we can do the recitation of Miksema in relation with the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, then there's no better practice than that.
아니 다만도 가도 공부 그리 잡고 간디도 잡고 그래서 와이나 아니 소소는 되려야 아니 지금 가시고로 아니 메토드 빼마 간디서는 쇼트 첨보식 쇼트 통보식 아니 곰자고 그랬어.
And so when you meditate, you visualize a huge, expensive, throne, or the lotus, lotus cushions in the space in front of oneself.
근데 온다 대야 지금 사자 강장장, 아야 지금 다 지금 아니 처다, 아니 메토다, 아니 지금 지원람들 괜히 보자서 근데 사자 가지 사자 장식 예도 뭐 드리질래야 곰자고 그래.
And that has to be visualized in a place, that is very clean, very beautiful, has very nice sound, of the birds chirping and so forth. So anyway, in a very beautiful place, in short.
어디에 드리져서 못 하시다 소소 드리져서 못 하. 아니 가든라 진고지 독안에 해서데 아니 즉 당보 되고 아니 자와 지름 보시 돼. 아니 가와니 간전히 표현을 해서. 대 아니 자와 shambang 거 독안에 마 야, 아니 뚫까보 아니 그때 맞아 쇼가 깔란도 못 되지야. 아니 지금 뚫긴 자트 되지 밥지. 아니 뒤에 나라야. 아니 뒤에 다 뚫긴 자트에 나라야. 아니 저거는 뭐 저거 뭐 yap세. 아니 저거는 뭐 저거 뭐지? 다 뒤에 세나 자타지 그럽지라 코나 뭐 숨데 마 배병 좀 당고요. 그래. 저
And so then as you recite this first verse, where it says, from Tushida's hundreds of gods protector's heart. So that's referring to Buddha Maitreya, right? So it's like inviting Lama Tsongkhapa and his two disciples in the merit field, and on top of the throne that you have just visualized, right? So where you invited from, and this is from the Tushida's hundreds of gods of protector's heart. So that's referring to the the Buddha Maitreya. So from the Tushira Pure Land, where Buddha Maitreya is residing, at his heart, it's like the tip of this fresh, pure white, heaped curd-like cloud. So that's like at the heart. Like Lama Tsongkhapa, two disciples are residing there, and then you didn't invite Lama Tsongkhapa and two disciples from there to take a place or to take a seat on a throne that you have visualized in the space in front of you.
아니 두제 다른데 아니 소소 등마 앞에는 아니 소소들나 슈트 띠라야 커버서 못 당고 연 말이 대거 그래야 아니 지선만 지면 되거든. 지선만 Jawakaro, Lama Tsongkhapa yapse, and Chin Zenda Chivekane, took true number chin, Peo some tangore. The period Gubate, any Dalo Tebison, and Susu, Tebi, that's one of the Sosavi, Shinaya, any Telepega, Tea, Pevade, and Tembadan Rivetendaya, Temba Javada, and Simjala Dechi, Taka and the Kawabada, that they should now show some awesome to some Dankore.
And then also imagine, Lama Tsongkhapa's two disciples descending down very happily, with a very smiling expression on their face, very happily coming down and then taking a seat, on that throne that you have visualized. And then it says, like, in space I had on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru smiled brightly, with delight, praised hundreds of humans to spread doctrine. And so imagine that they have accepted. As you make a prayer, they have accepted to stay there for hundreds of years, for the benefit of teachings and the sentient beings.
That is Suzun shoots of the Kabaya, that in the diet of Chatang, or Chatazade and of course took some Chatang.
And so as it is a supreme merit field for my minds of faith. So for once, for one to accumulate merit, then take a space and take a seat on the throne in the space in front of oneself. And now then so once you have visualized that, Lama Tsongkhapa's two disciples seated on the throne, then you make a prostration. So then there's three ways of making prostrations: through your body, through your speech, and through your mind.
And the Tambo de Shiji Chicken Jambi, Shiji Chicken Jambi, Lodu Tutana, Anita Shiji, that Kajish. Shiji ita machab samevada shiji kan chapsa de tudin chewa tinjoga ani tudin cheme yishida ya ani shanzawachi ani kazana ye dijala ani te kawada dembe ani deja namchi ani sanji chumde ge leshi go sonde ta chasangi kare tuwa de mate ta nabi ge je samji kan jidu jagala watsa machbo so amjala tuwa de ta nabi kanji takaro nye dewo sokana maju ani pendo chiba tiri nawi jende chibe le shigo sum ani ta na jiga kadaya ani tabi pajin zeme lamida tabi pajin lamin zebe kadna ani tindrigi ani kudaya chik kandi chik sesamo sunchita je pishi jaje deme ani tona mandama tiri ko teta kajin tonga tamji ya chenpa tanja kum tonga dang sun tuba dang ani chigan Chepatamija, Anichi, that's some Devaja, the new Kurukulla Center is any Center going on.
And so the first line, which says your wisdom mind sees full range of knowledge. So that's the quality of the mind, right? So the mind, is an omniscient mind, so it knows everything that is, to be known. There isn't anything, whatever, it like pervades, over everything that exists, because everything that exists is known by this omniscient mind, so that's to the holy mind. And then your eloquent speech, during fortunate years. So that's referring to the Buddha's teaching, right? The Lama Tsongkhapa of Buddha's teaching, just by listening to their teachings, that enlightens so many beings. So that's referring to their teachings, and then also to that's the speech, right? And then to the body, it says your beauteous body, famed, glorious, outstanding. And so not like the ordinary body, but very beautiful body adorned with all these 32 major marks and the minor 80 minor marks, so of the Buddha, and so adorned with that. And then you pay homage, to make prostration or pay homage, to you worthwhile to think of. Think of is to the mind, and with the mind, to hear is the sound, and the see is the body, rather than do so so you pay homage or make prostration with all your body, speech, and mind, to this holy body, holy speech, and holy mind of Lama Tsongkhapa.
Ani Theodla, Yonchi, not so metal, the Tujubo, not to Tuju. Nisha Yaduchu, son of Shijaj, that Theola, that Yedobe, I mean, Joyo, that metal down, Chedan to the Yadoda, that Tujimbo, Dubula Soba, I mean, Tuchubda. And this was Shamba, and the Yichiti, Chula Jamso Tavaji, and the son of Sabishan, Chelambois, that somewhere was.
And then after that is making offerings, right? So just like it says, it's pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light, perfume, and so on. So all these offerings, oceans, so there's not just a little bit, just visualize like oceans of offerings set out and envisioned. So like as much as one can set out, one can arrange, and then also visualize as a vast as ocean. And then the offer up to you supreme field of merit. So then all these you offer to the supreme field of merit.
안테나미 청소배나 총강하고 메토드만도 어떤지 사자야들이나 근데 주보는 야 초배나 백두개 차원되고 말해.
And so when you get to a new a very beautiful place like in a garden or meadow or in the supermarket where there's a lot of good foods and flowers, you can just recite this verse and imagine making offerings of all those things.
어디 다디 어디라 강시 돌면서 많이 생각하지만 잡아도면 이는 잡아도면 다 강시나 다 강스나 다 싫어지 가지 강하러서고 통면 딱 고발을 통하면 다디 받은 리가 예선지 아니 사비 먹여와디 상부터 잡아 돈바서나 소도지 돈바 상도지 돈바 상의 돈바서 이제 문도쇼 강 집어다 돈바나게 이제 바강 사와디 이는 잡아도 소소 샤세데 샤바서 거요래.
And then after that is confessing, the non-virtuous actions. So this is whatever non-virtuous actions of the body, speech, and mind one have committed, whatever. So not only a particular one, but any kind of non-virtuous actions that one has accumulated, which I have heaped up since beginning last time. And so everything that since beginning last time, all the negative karmas that you have created since beginning last time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Right? So those that have the vows, the three vows, the individual liberation vows and the bodhisattva and tantric vows that you have broken, and especially those, each I confess, from my heart with strong regret. So should confess, with a strong regret.
뭐지? 다디 걸 지대라 말해. 님에다가 뭐도 딱 님에 단대다 당했다 단대다 단대 뒤졌다 등이 님에 차대로 봐. 님에다가 마도들라서 아니 마도 봐. 그 담보 자체 또 마도서 소원이야. 마도 봐. 저발아 쯤 봐. 되는 아니 지대 주제 봐봐. 아니 지다 단조 대여도 해 봐. 들리던 공부지 납전서 발라 다 찾선 받았다. 아니 저걸 못 적어 봐. 제비 강한 대셔 받는 게딱 수수문에 아니 삼바 타바게 지세라 책이 있잖아요.
And then after that is rejoicing, rejoicing in the merits, of especially of Lama Tsongkhapa, and then of course of any other good deeds performed by other beings, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and so forth. So here it says in Lama Tsongkhapa, in time of strife you strove to learn and practice. So it's referring to Lama Tsongkhapa, and this is the shun the 8 mundane concerns made life essential. So you gave up the 8 worldly concerns and made your life meaningful. And so, O protector, from the depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful, great deeds. So all the wonderful deeds that Lama Tsongkhapa performed and all the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and you can rejoice in that.
디오들라다 주고가 이나서다 지성만 받던 받진다 지성만 저거는 왔정가 침보지 다 나지게 수수계겠지 상제šan도 아니 전남지 죽인 칼라도 가지 체지 아니 따투라야 진세가 쫀지바 가지 체지 투라야 가지 진백이 이 쫀지바니 가대요. 그래서 제대로 된지 가대와데 전단 상비는 다 늦어 수수수 삼바당 때문에 아니 늦어라 그리고 제단점에 늦은 잠발라 늦어 수수 삼바 나진데니 아니 sabji 주지 잡아대 아니 니스다도 나로는 새로 있어라.
And then after that is requesting to turn the will of Dharma or to give teachings. So it says, venerable gurus from the love and wisdom clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky. So that all this great knowledge of love and wisdom and so forth that they have, that's as vast as the clouds densely massed in the Dharmakaya sky. So pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on field of disciples just as needed. So whatever the Dharma, whatever kind of Dharma teaching that each and every disciple needs, grant them that Dharma teaching. So requesting to teach the Dharma.
뒤에 올랐다 안돼 다 그러네 뭐가 있더라 나 그 진행에서 개와는 때나도 저번 때문에 물은 사실 쉬어서 딱 뭐가 있더라.
And then after that is the dedication, right? So dedicating that whatever virtue that I have here gathered, bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Lama Tsongkhapa's essential teachings especially shine forever.
어디 다들 다들 공자다 단계 삼만하지 진에 쓰는 저기 공자 쓰듯 당한 근데 얘네들인데 제요 섬 공자고 그러와.
And so as you recite these verses, you have to meditate just like it is explained in the verses.
아니 대체는 다들 사지만 다들 미세만 사고 진짜 정말 미세만 사다 아니 지는 뭐지 yap세다 수준대로 단계 쇼하나지 쇼대와지 다 대예가야 대치고 많이 봐지 아니 산제도 샤조 선바당 간로도 주저 차다 저 아니 소소 미지에 따라라 맞춰서 눈도 요섬에 뭐가 놓다 아니 미세만 장 거래.
And so after that, then you recite the Mixema. You like recite many times. You accumulate or recite many times the Mixema as many times as possible by visualizing the Lama Tsongkhapa two disciples just as you have visualized earlier on the throne in front of you in the space, and not just them, but also surrounded to them are all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and also your other gurus like your root gurus and lineage gurus and all the gurus there. So in their presence, then you recite the Mixema as many times as possible.
아니 대는 동의도 그렇다 두서 먼저 줘. 미세마던데 두서 먼저 줘도 무슨 수수가 랭이도 다 팽거서 봐.
And so as you recite that, Mixema, then also you do the visualization of the nectar and the light flowing down, and into you, and that becomes very powerful.
아니 지하에서 좀 고소 투섭네야 지금 아니 지금 전업대 아니 배나가는 아니 두속깔마 배는 작가서 맞아서 손으로 치네 아니 소수가 다 travala 마tum지 대라마 요네 아니 모두 수보트의 척 다만도 지금 예수도 맞죠 나진지도 수수 따지 수부 나다 선번 나다 저거 찾아게 지금 레멘 득점 선바지 보면봐 지금 내 나도 때는 강 요와데 지금 더 독은 나보다 된데가 나바치네다 수보 쇼로 파테네마 아니 당도들 삼도 따고 왜 말이야.
And then, so also imagine the light, like the multicolor light, like a rainbow light, coming from the Lama Tsongkhapa into disciple, and descending down to you and entering into you, through your crown or forehead, and then purifying all the negativities, all the obscurations, all the unhappy state of mind. And everything, all these worries, concerns, and everything is, washed out in the, just like the dirt is washed from your body, all these negative states of mind are washed out, and comes out from your body in a form of like black liquid.
아니 된데요 아니 지금 독은 나보다 수부처럼 쇼로 된데 깜도 얼마 그게 사고만도 사고로야 아니 신지 주자가 가당돼요 된데 삼도 뒤에 카는 안 봐지 대 콜라 칼라찬으로 삼당 거래.
And then also imagine that this black liquid form of negativities and obscurations coming out from the sole of your feet, and then goes down in the ground where the Yama, the Lord of Death, is waiting for you with his mouth wide opened, and imagine all this entering into his mouth.
어때요? 소소가 이번에 체력하고 작아서 되잖아.
And then
소소나 체력. 되잖아. 아니 대마치. 아니 되잖아. 아니 야메가 카파 숨 가슴네 아니 저 정말 뭐 맞지 뭐 빠직다 가야 체험이 진짜 랍송사마로.
And then also they think that the Yama is satisfied with that and closes his mouth, and Lama Tsongkhapa then blesses to seal his mouth, so it doesn't open. And if you do that, then also that becomes like a form of long life practice. And so like that you do it, again and again and many times. And so you do this flowing of the nectar and the light, on the basis of reciting the Mixema. It becomes a very powerful practice.
Okay, then that you so bana so kanto chetan mabu mewaina ani chi gadala jadan dreve go de Mixema kantam to sadhana pe music pe to.
And so on the daily basis, if you don't have other many commitments to do, then if you can do this Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga practice, and do the recitation of Mixema, that will be very beneficial.
Okay? 그래서 답이 잘 없어. 다들 한번 거는 막가네 지들 아니 지름 보체대 아니 봐봐 신뢰스 지든 잠배야 배차나도 저 숨디가다 숨데다 가자 찍어 가제 대숨지 안에다 연대다 지금 보자 사마 댕거서로 고고서로 봐.
And so that's as you recite the Mikzema, that's like the Avalok, the Shara, the Menjushiri, and Bajapani. As all these three, the Buddha families, all combined into one person, like Lama Tsongkhapa, who possesses all these three qualities.
Okay. 아니 되네다 되는 소준 반죽 대비 갑들라야 아니 디올라 빠데테 발람 버는 거지 담보데 다 소주고 지름 보체다 소주고 짜라라 뭐 오염에다 삼로 따네 되게 지름 보체데 아니 그런 거 쉬우들라 쉬 아니 대가도 치고고니 소소라 제수 소마도 맞에 아니 고소 투지 무릎데 딱 제지 고소 투지 무릎 가리에나다 말아 나로나 말아 사도 나서도.
And so then at the end, at the end when you do the dissolution, of the married field that you have visualized, then you recite this all glorious and precious Lord Guru verses. Right? There are three verses, right? And so like the first one saying that caring for me with your great kindness, best to attainments of body, speech, and mind.
어떻게 제가 가려야 아니 단계가 좀 쉬워. 아니 지름 보체지 대라 자동 그림이지 대지라야다 산지도 신에서 뭐 뭔지 거기야 또 타마 직직직직을 파드는 타마 아니 지름 보체 주어로 삼다 어때다 소소고 직다 그런 거 갈마 대화로 삼다 거 살에 고갈다 소소 치수도 마시고
And so then as you recite that, Lama Tsongkhapa, two disciples, the Khidru Rinpoche and Gyatso Rinpoche, that you have visualized in the front, and with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all the root and lineage gurus that you have visualized, they all like dissolve into Lama Tsongkhapa, and then Lama Tsongkhapa becomes smaller and smaller, and then comes down and takes place, takes a seat on top of your crown.
아니 빠데서가 대가는 네가 좀 저라 그러면 저가 통으로서 대나 따요 되는 마음에 소리는 걸어줘. 인가라 쉬네. 아니 조금 것도 다 동무공 것도 좋나다. 가라서나 도제 대바나 반대로 요래 조금 것도. 오늘 동무거도 나다 가제 나 고소도 좀 가리지 여봐나. 아니 나로 나서로 어서가 들어와.
And then after that, the Lama Tsongkhapa descends down to your heart, and then at that time you decide the second verse, where it says, caring for me with the great kindness, best to attainments, the common and supreme attainments, the common and supreme attainments. The supreme attainments are the attainments of the Tantra, the realization of the Tantra, and then common, it's like the body, speech, and mind, the other common realizations.
아니 뒤에 담아들었다야 되게 쉬워하는 건 쉬운 맞아 맞을까지 지금 거기서는 샤지 힘을 받으시고 딱 아니 산지 맞을 받아 다로 쉬러나 딱 소화죠 되는데 소소다 소소게게 아니 소소가 따라라마 가디나다 예메데시 그냥도요 아니 대성당 거기서 봐.
And then so at the third verse, then you just do not only saying that take a place, take a seat at your heart, but sit there until you become fully enlightened. It says until supreme awakening, remain steadfast, stay there until you become fully enlightened.
어디는나 소중히 링아 였음데 아니 산지 딱 그런 정말 맞는 거 당 소중히 짜올라 많이 얘기해서 그러면 딱 가서는 뭐도 되게 아니 뭐 있는 딱 되게 아니 소중히가 예수님 제가 고소도 신전합죠. 신전하거나 아니 모두 그러나 싸로나 속에서 모두 내가 예수님데 아니 제가 고소 툭 숨지다 신전하거나 고소 투지 모두 말 때로나 생각으로
So 지름무시더라. And so you're making request to Lama Tsongkhapa to grant you all these realizations, right? The attainments of the body, speech, and mind. So the attainment of the holy body, holy speech, and holy mind, and into to my, and then transform my like ordinary body and speech and mind, body and ordinary mind and ordinary speech and ordinary mind into the holy body, holy speech, and holy mind, like that.
뭐 땅도 까마카시지. 저도 트데 깨자마고 같이 트데 마칼리 진에 곰타나 잡는 거 신도기스.
So 간데체 거 상간데라서나.
빠데 마간데라장 곰 마칼리 트 다르면데 뭐죠? 수슬람이 딱이 하는 곰타나 잡스.
간데라게.
간데라게.
And so now you're going to go back to the the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga page 15, right? and then recite the verses like from where it says from Tishida's hundreds of gods of protector's heart. So do the visualization just like Geshe explained, and then do all these verses, all these verses quietly by yourself. And as you recite, then visualize just like Geshe explained now.
Okay.
And up to like the dissolution, up to the dissolution.
And then mitsama tassum des, mitsama tassum.
Up to where the last, page 21, the until supreme awakening, remain steadfast up to that. And when you come to the point of reciting the mixema, recite mixema 3 times, with that visualization, Geshe explained, I just explained now.
다 소소소고 네 가로 삶을 치는데 깨자고.
So you can do it silently, without making noises. Just do it, on your own.
삶로 되니까 공다가 나지 있다고 그래서.
So recite it silently, and then as you recite, do the visualizations clearly as possible.
Okay. 아니 가지 사선 졸라받지 하셔서.
So whenever you are done, just raise your hand.
조선님, 근데 미세마 사슴을 주도 먹었지.
The mixema you just recite 3 times. Okay.
Okay. 야들이 찔러 상하던 이름이 된마다 가는 바르는 체마로 하지는 바르는 바삼 다죠.
So don't spend too much time, in one point. Just keep on reciting slowly. Move on gradually. Don't spend too much time on one point.
Okay. 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 Now start. Okay. 저도 대 저거로 들어요.
Any questions about that? More or less.
The exact part where you're supposed to start visualizing everything, draining out. Where? Tell me again. Where you're supposed to start doing that?
Draining out, you mean the negativities? Wash, purifying the negative. 도지 법정 전에 되는데 디바드서 마 다베 뭐버지도 가오쳐 버렸대. 제사 가오쳐 버렸대. 가도
믹세만 되는 거라. 믹세만 녹이 됐다고 그랬어.
So as you recite Mixema, you know the Mixema? As you are reciting Mixema, yeah.
아니
The other thing is, on page 19, what is unconceiving compassion?
닝메 맞아. 닝메 세워. 닝메 세워. 대신 닝메 세워.
민매도 가상에 줘도 라이바. 민매에 대해 아니 나도 니제마로 소미오스 가상다 치슈다데서.
So I think Geshe-la said he mentioned last time, about compassion, 3 different kind of compassion.
그러와 아니 또만이 또만이다 담에 도벨류 셈베게 니제텔라 아니 민매라 민베니제스.
So this compassion is a compassion conjoined, with the wisdom, realizing selflessness or emptiness. That's called unconceiving compassion.
그러와 오 된적이 니제테 딱 제선 가로. 라마 tsongkhapa 니제테 딱 되네 자대 그래서.
So the compassion in the continuum of Lama Tsongkhapa is that kind of compassion.
오케이? 어디지? 다 이제 신반이데 아니 지금 출라면 베니제다 섬절하면 베니제 나 아니 무타바다 담에다 들이 가야만 받다 가지 다 섬진 동어라 미네 때 동어다 트란지로들라 아니 근데 섬지도라면 베니제스 아니 무타바다 담에 가로 또 벨류 섬베기 니제들라 아니 출라면 베니제스
So
아니 돈이 또 벨류 섬인제들라 아니 미말라면 베니제스.
So we talked about, like the mere compassion, just compassion, and then compassion focusing on the phenomena, and then compassion focusing on the emptiness. So
This is the third kind.
that's the third kind, yeah. So that's the compassion, focusing on emptiness is the unconceiving compassion. So the first one is mere compassion, is like just thinking about the suffering, of the sentient beings and wishing them to be free from that. That's compassion. And then the beings who are suffering, not just thinking that beings are suffering, but then thinking of them being impermanent and them being like lack of self existence and so forth. So when you think about that, and then based on thinking about that and wishing them to be free from those suffering, then that becomes compassion, focusing on or observing the phenomena. And then on top of that, when you think about empty of inherent existence, empty of existence from its own side, and then that becomes unconceiving compassion.
Okay? Yes.
On Sunday, we talked about, in the course of doing this 7-limb prayer, that when you get to each section, for instance, prostration, you would do prostration, and then when you get to the confession, you would do like the 4-point proverbs. If you're using this also as your 7-limb prayer practice, during the
저서 미세바 맞서 내들라 다라 라레다는 저기 그래. 샹차야다 저 뭔데 무슨 그때 지난 저기 그래. 근데 미세바 사고가다 마데네 뜻은 뭐지 사고.
So what's your question again?
which is that, okay, so when you get to the purification, the verse that says non-virtue
Yeah.
committed, would you just wait till you get to the Mixema recitation to do like a purification visualization, or would you do it during the confession?
이때 그거 말해. 이게 코랑 카투라도 다 하나 지난 저기 그래. 아주 미세바 까봐야 지난 저기 그렇고 제 마야 말해.
Yeah, so you can do it, you can do it just like it is said there at that time, in the confession part, the 7-limb, the confession part, at that time you do that, and then you do the Mixema part, you do the Mixem part also, same thing. I mean, you can do again and again, many times. There's no contradiction, in doing more times.
So if you use something different as the remedy at that point.
Yeah.
그지 이게는 가려서 지어서나 아니 수수 강사제 때마다 딱 톱시던 데에 거니 아니 샤바치 송거로 왔다 미엘나 되게 말했다 수준 무슨 마사 되게 지름 붙여 써왔다 말 때문에 지름 붙이가 고소도 주지 다 무조건 남도 되게 링어도 막딱 송섬에
무엇이나 디레마도 년부터 차가 말해서 그렇다. 년부터도 차가라.
차가
Yeah, so at that time you apply the four opponent powers, to do the confession or to purify the negativities. And at the time when you come to do the mixema and do the visualization of nectar flowing down and washing away all your negativities, and at that time you can think like that, just like it is said that, and that time also you can think of that as being the remedy, to purify the negativities also.
Okay. 어떻게 다 년이 수수야 가는데 마음면나 되는 지나 이빼야 보여래.
So if you don't have too much, other commitments to do, then it will be good, to add this, in your daily practice.
딱 가서 저도 나봐 지는 예를 못 찾아서는 딱 와만 보신 가서 간다 보신다 해요.
So many of you, who have been Buddhists for a long time and have taken many initiations, and you have so many commitments, to carry on, right? To fulfill, so might not have time.
그냥 알아야는 또 산다가 내가 이랬다. 그 대마사 왔지네. 가서 점점 자르고도 와 대자마사 진.
So Geshe-la said he has so many commitments that he couldn't, find enough time to finish even those commitments.
어떻게 시다 두진 저도 가달라지면서 별로 여봐이나 아니 이게 너무 말이야. 오늘 그 누구 사르고 와.
So if you know it by heart, you don't even have to carry the books around. You can just recite it anywhere, and then just do that practice.
와야 내가 저가 내가 따다치. 아니 공제 좀 내가 지금 공부는 용 말이대.
So when you're walking, you just do the walk, and then when you have a time, then you do the practice. You can't do the meditation while you're walking.
그러봐. 다 나신 게 쇼게 파는 거야. 아니 다 들이 니고네지까지 가 톱톱 전에 편집치기 위해서 내가 끌어도 키니 아니 내가 다 내가 가를 가져도 제고 제 따로다 제고로 와.
So when you go to the walk, set up a proper motivation, thinking that I'm going to go to the walk, to benefit other sentient beings, for the sake of other sentient beings, a thing like that. And then of course when you get to the walk and when you do the walk, then you do whatever you have to do. But before that, you carry the motivation, set up a motivation, thinking that you're going to do this, to benefit other sentient beings.
야 나바 있으네 나비 주의는 소소 내가 좋게나 약보여 말해.
So, you cannot take loss on your walk. You have to do what you have to do. Do that. You should do whatever you have to do at a walk. And you say, just because you're Buddhist doesn't mean that you have to take the loss.
그거도 야보지 제거 어때네 나고 같이 남주 같이 제거 그래.
So set up the motivation properly. But then when you get to the walk, whatever work you have to do, you just do that.
야 아니 딱 고나 틀려 가봐야 다 소소 삼모지 뒤에나 삼모 때스 땅까마시다. 야 저 소소 누가 제거들에 와야나 아니 야 샤바지나 아니 그거 다 그래.
Then when you get back to home after work, when you come home, then just spend little time contemplating on what you did, and if there is something that you did wrong and it was inappropriate, was non-virtuous action, then just purify that.
그래서 가서는 뭐 책이 가도 도지스면 제나 맨날 가서 도스면 되냐면 제조고요래.
And so because we were fortunate enough to receive the Vajrasattva practice from Lama Zopa Rinpoche, so we can do that practice to purify the negativities.
Okay? Yes.
So, quick question is, I'm noticing that there's a lot of similarities between Guru Yoga, Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, and Vajrasattva purification. Seven limb prayer, where you start with prostrate, and then you talk about what you did wrong, and then you purify it. Is that just a similarity that runs throughout practice, or is this just specific to purification style practices?
됐어 그래.
그래, 내가 tomorrow 가서 다들 야라도밖에 냠내는.
그 야라도는 처음 들어. 빼서 그냥 집어야 돼. 집어 야라도만 그냥 집어야 돼.
No, the seven limb practice is very common. So that practice is contained in all other practices, all the practices, right? So many other practices wherever you like, when you do the Guru Puja or Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga or even like medicine Buddha Puja, all this, you have 7 limb prayers, 7 limb practices. So that's very common practice. It's not specific to any one practice.
맞아 소소다 통만 대화에 배차니 있다 유담 서가 남도 라서가 남도 또 라마서가 남도 대단대로 있냐면 제당이로 봐.
So depending on your connection, like it's a special connection or special like feeling that you have towards certain kind of deity, you can devote to that deity. But it's the same whichever deity you devote to. It's just because of your personal feeling. You choose one particular deity, over other one. Doesn't matter, whichever you want. And then, but the practice you do is the same, 7 limb practice.
그래서 저걸로 뭐 통과하지는 가도 믹스가 터모 소소 사만 대화에 따르다 따한테 겨서 간가 그걸 주서 다 티용으로 봤을 때 믹스가 터모 모임인 대화에 따르.
And so, that is also the sign that shows that you have a special a bond or connection with Lama Tsongkhapa, that brought you to the Kurukulla Center also. So because we are, like following the Lama Tsongkhapa's lineage, and so the fact you are here, it shows that you have a connection with Lama Tsongkhapa.
아니 시다다 너도 더블 디상다 시다 추 남배 추 먹고 대나라야 배에 남배 추 먹어야 대나기다 겨서 미세게 될래야 돼 미세게 돼 저에 따르.
So there are so many different kind of religions in this world, right? And then also in Buddhism, there are so many different type of Buddhism, and even in Tibetan Buddhism, there are different traditions. So among that, like the 4 major traditions of the Tibetan Buddhism, one is still the Gelug tradition. So the one that so karma, your karma, which brought you here, shows that you have a connection with Lama Tsongkhapa.
어때가 땅에 가지 하고 그랬나 때 그런 내 티와 다랑 저때 임박 중요해.
So it's just through the logic, through the logic, you can say yes, you have connection because you happen to be here. Somehow your karma brought you here. So that, with that logic, I can say that you have connection with Lama Tsongkhapa. Not that I can read your mind or, things like that.
Lama Tsongkhapa was the one who developed the Lamrim, correct?
Lamrim, yes,
He
yes.
took Buddhist teachings and then put them in order, basically, stages of the path. And that's
또 gelug 전에도 gelug 전에도 Lama Tsongkhapa 람르도 Lama Tsongkhapa 현대의 람르도 하고 뭐라.
그래서 남름 시당 남름 먼저 한번 보래. 시당 남름 대 남제가 제가 남제 대 조지가 송 조지다 장한데 수배저로.
Yeah, I mean, when you say Lamrim, it's just, if you're talking about the particular Lamrim, by Lama Tsongkhapa, then yes, particular Lamrim by Lama Tsongkhapa. Lamrim is a stage of the path. So it's a stage 1 from the beginning, then how you go all the way up to Buddhahood. That stage is the path, So that is in every tradition. That's in every tradition. They have that. We have that. And in the Gelug tradition, and Lama Tsongkhapa, it's the great exposition of the stages of the path. That's composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and that's the commentary, of the Lamp on the Path to Enlightenment, which was composed by Lama Atisha. So it's a commentary to that, So Lama Tsongkhapa, so he expanded it more and put it together. Then there's other Lamrim, so many other Lamrim commentaries, So, but there's one called Great Exposition of the Stage of the Path. That's by Lama Tsongkhapa, yes.
아니 배는 이마로 해나 아니 고소람이 샬루사이죠. 아니 대가도 라름도 치바로 그랬어.
Anyway, there's also in Nyingma, there's Kunsalame Shalom. What's the name? In the Nyingma tradition, they have I forgot the name term. In Tibetan it's Kunsalame Shalom, but there's a different translation in English. I saw that book and I haven't read it myself, but I saw that. It's a similar. It's the same meaning, yes. It's a Lamrim also, And then in like Sajara
아니 사벨 람레사이죠.
so that's called a Lamde, is a resultant path or something like that, and Lamde, right, in Sajja tradition. So they all these tradition, they have a Lamrim, it's all Lamrim, but it's different names,
아니 까줄은 따보타지사이죠. 영어 대가도 라름도 치바래.
And Kaju also have like a Tapo
따보타르젠. 따보타르젠 사이죠.
Targel.
야.
in Kagyu tradition. So that's very similar to the Lamrim that we talk, in the Gelug tradition.
어떤데서 같이 단단도 가로 배신님을 용도 제단 선배 대신 선발라서 제단 참바세데 대자 수수도 감도 못 받은 선배 주시자 받아 수수도 따다 산지 준비도 손도 리어로 와서 가로 같이 신도.
So, like, it says, on a field of disciples, just as needed. So just as, so whatever is needed for them. And so each person may have different, so if they need a lamde, you give a lamde. If they need a lamrim, you do lamrim. So, konsalame shalom, konsalame shalom. So whichever is more, is needed for them, is more suitable for them, then you give to them. So that's why it's talking about, so giving, like requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma,
Okay? Yes.
Well, I thought that the Buddhist teachings were very diverse. Shakti Buddha, he taught all sorts of different things according to people's needs, so they weren't organized at all. So I thought Lama Tsongkhapa was the first one to really organize it. But maybe that's not the case if the other traditions did as well, or that he organized it and then other traditions commented on that.
Because
The Tibetan traditions. Was he the first? I thought Lama Tsongkhapa was the first one to really organize all these diverse.
Oh, I see, yeah.
In a sequence of step by step.
그래서
다른 거는 상계 좀 되게도 저 공부를 가서 처음 먹으셔 송하다 서서 저 참여 소 처음 먹으셔 송하다 얘는 다른 거들 람름세 정말 즉 상마 눈에 즉 송하는데 조지 제 말이 왜스 조지 나 말이 왜스 되고 올라들 야 말았어 그래
일단 먼저 길로그 소텔이야 단단 남dom세 돼딱 조지가 송으로 와 딩가나 가도 길로그 소텔 요요 말해
그래 아니 가지도 님한테 되고 올라나
가지 님한테도 요되나야 고소 남dom세 타니다가 말이야 고소 미 tani kaka tani kuru kuru
rede tandade kunzo kar lamdenne mara
kunzo lamdenne laga mara kunzo lamdenne laga mara
lamdenne mara be joje di mara be mune
mete kozo paje inji mara kozo achi jipa manda be jipa kaka ne ujul ngamzo nisi ga lamramde ta joje ne jipa 아니 아
조지대 가서데 가서 gelug ke mara
gelug marta
ke mara da ko te da 마다 이거다
조카다 마세데 팅나디 가지마 가
가다 돼 mara
조카다 마세데 다 등마다 줘 조지는 신마 다 줘봐 줄이 심어도 팅나 다 살아 건조
다 조지도 조지 여기 없어도 가다 돼 mara 돼요
요 말 지금 다 줘봐
네네
근데 다 조지는 마신에 다 줘봐 팅에만 줄 팅은 다 살아 엄마 요요래 거서요
근데 님마도
그래 님이 팅은 다 살아 봐
왜
다살
아 네.
또 게르도도 주고 갔던바 된마 갈갈지 그부터 줘라 지금 뭐
So Geshe-la thinks that that the other lamrims of the other tradition of other Tibetan Buddhist tradition they're already there even before Lama Atisha's time. So Nyingmas and all this so the lamrim from Gelug tradition came from Lama Atisha. So but of course it was not known as Gelug at that time. Even so at the time when Lama Atisha composed that, there was no name of any tradition, So then later, when his disciples, came, then because like the Kadamba tradition, and then after that, when Lama Tsongkhapa, then picked up the Gelug tradition, So the Gelug tradition came from Kadamba tradition, and that came from the Lama Atisha. So, but I think the Nyingma and Satya or other tradition, they might have already be there. They might have been there already. Even before Lama Atisha put together all this teaching into Lamrim. It's just a different way of teaching the things, but it's not a different things. It's a different way of teaching, but it's not different things.
But it's revolutionary in the sense of taking so many teachings and putting them into a sequence. That's very revolutionary.
Yeah.
That wasn't done during Buddha's time, even after his death. It didn't happen until he got to Tibet, if I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I don't know.
대체로들 팅을 앞에 딱 놓자들이 땀밥 셀렘 남부 시와다니 단다 아니 조지 배치 아니 딱 담아서 그러면 돼요 보서 와 팅을 쇼래 간제 담아면 봐 나다
말다 티스가 말 뭐잖아 다 상마다 이거 동화 먹고 줘라 다 수자들은 제토야 말다 상마데 직 람림서 직 그래서 도도스는 써야지라 상마데나 두대 봐 람림서는 직 도도 써야 돼 제르무 조지고 써면 정말 여백게 좀 믿었어요.
단위에 대단한 나무로서 단위에 대단한 맞춤으로 봐.
말은 님도 써야 돼. 나
너도 써야 돼.
써야지. 그러다 상해좀들 숨을 가서 송창만 되는 데네 써야 돼. 대공을 수자 써서 말 되제는 데는 거랑 라마들도 가서 날랜데 개발도 건조 되는 거라 돌아시고 풀었어요. 되죠.
대래 되니까 식디디체 된데들이 야와도 돌아다 shum을 봤어. 이나 뒤에나한테 라그럼들이 좀 이렇게 주단 말이에요.
So yeah, well, because of his composition, of like a last word with a full meaning, like which contains all the meaning of Buddha's teaching, but in such a short form like that, like or maybe it's 13 stanzas, something like that, right? So, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't a Lamrim teaching like that before that.
단단 간도 람럼세 탄지도 또 람럼세기 만주 결국에는 람럼세한테 미세게 탄이 숙지 보자 그러고서 셴마도 두진 탄이 작은 말이고.
So the Lamrim, the stage of the path, is a term, used in the Buddhist, in the Gelug tradition. The other tradition don't use that term, but they already have that already.
단단 일날 막 구조라면 살아서 대단 람럼이 세다 집어집어요. 옛날 구조 람럼도 탄이 작은 말이에요.
Oh yeah, the perfect word of my guru. So the perfect word of my guru, of my perfect teacher.
Where's my perfect teacher?
Well, yeah, the words of my perfect teacher. Yeah, so that's from the Nyingma tradition. So Nyingma tradition, that's very similar. Like the stage of path. Just like it is in Gelug tradition.
옛날
The
구조
words of my
람럼도 탄이
perfect
작은
teacher.
말이에요.
Where's my perfect teacher?
Yeah, words of my perfect teacher.
뭐 들리다 다 그래 나도 가르쳐도 들리다 파지 대결을 해요 그랬더니 간다 조가던 것도 초초다 말아 내가 어떻게 말아
So yeah, so it was already there. The Kadam tradition and Gelug tradition, from where the Lamrim really came. The Lamrim term, the name or term Lamrim came. Is much later. Before that there was already these other traditions.
아니 지를 못 제가 로조쳐서 못 못한다 사자도 아니 까준을 로조 못 제로
So Lama Tsongkhapa, before that there was no Gelug tradition, right? So there was no Gelug tradition to study under. So Lama Tsongkhapa studied from the Nyingma tradition, from Sajja tradition, from Kogyo tradition, and then he started his own tradition.
가지
What's the main thing? What's the main differential? If you could say what's the one main thing that separates Gelug tradition from all the others, what is it?
다 지를 못 제대 좀 미세게 지 다 로조체야 맞아 따금 쇼도 미세 로조는 되다 같은데 잘 그랬어
Chabardi.
제버트 다
Shendagi
시다다 따위고 제버트는 말아 뭐 쉐다 다도 좀 공유세 들어왔어 당연히 참 고대원으로 지나배나 안에 결국 또 지를 못 제대 다 효대 또다 로조 안에 내가 쓰대원으로 작을 야 셴바도 야 같이 마찬가지 공대야로다 야 좋아서다 야 뒤쇼를 뭐지 그것도 루소가 가로로서
So yeah, the Gelug, the main emphasis of the Gelug practice, is on the mind training. Lojong, the mind training, So different traditions have different emphasis. So like some tradition, they have more emphasis on the rituals, like doing the prayers and pujas, on the rituals, and some on the meditation, but not so much on the mind training. So Gelug is mostly focused on emphasizing on the mind training.
근데 셴바도 로조냐 말했어
It's not that they don't have mind training; they do have. It's just the emphasis, emphasizing more on that.
근데 니마도 그것도 드라서야지 시에다도 드라서야 돼야 로조치 파드 드와트네지 들으시 쪼려지 그래
And that's from the practice point of view, but from the view, from the view point of view, there's many differences also, like the way they study, like in the Gelug tradition, like studying to become a Geshe, where you study the Buddhist philosophy in detail, that's very uncommon, in a Gelug tradition. You don't see that kind of way of studying in other tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, but they do have they don't vigorously stand up and then clap their hands and stamp their foot and all this, and they don't do that, but they just sit down and then just like we sit here and then discuss also. They do have that kind of like a discussion or debate, but not like Gelug's the way of, so there's difference like that also.
다 나중에 변하던다 차나서 된다 다시 대바지 롭사지를 된다 발도 거지
Part of the
발도 투로 디코르 된다 뎁시티요
Tibetan Book of Living and Dying.
오 대다 차나서 된다 대다 니말 말 스치 요 말에 주로 삼거스 대 말은 아주 결론은 대 차가 요랬어
So the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, you have read that, yeah? I mean, it's very famous, right? By Sera Je Rinpoche.
Yeah.
Sera, yeah.
Yeah.
Sera Je Rinpoche.
They
Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and it's all about, it's all about intermediate state, death, an intermediate state. And then it's in Tibetan word is called Pardo Tho Tal. Pardo means like intermediate state, Tho means to hear, Tal means liberate. So be liberated by hearing in the intermediate state. So that's what it means, So that is very emphasized. That's emphasized so much in the Nyingma tradition. But doesn't mean that Gelug tradition doesn't have that. Gelug tradition have that too. So then of course there's even more advanced practice, in the tantric practice, like what you call taking the three kayas into the path, the three kayas, Dharma kaya, Sambho kaya, and Nimana kaya. So three kayas into the path. So that's done at the time of the death and during the pardo and and the next life, like that. So that practice is even more advanced, and that is there. It's very similar to the practice, like Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. So there's a Tibetan book, like I said, Pardo Thodal means like, the liberating by hearing in the intermediate state. And there's a Tibetan book, so like scripture. So that's like teaching to the deceased person. So the deceased person is there residing, right? The consciousness, the body is dead, mind is around there. The mind can hear you, and then you kind of talking, like it's like giving teaching. You're reading that teaching to the, okay, now you are dead, you're doing this, you have to think like this, you have to do like this is going to happen to you. So like giving teaching to the person, and like kind of liberating by teaching, by giving. Yeah, so Lama, the Sera Je Rinpoche just took from there, and then he added many other stories and experiences that people have like that, right? So then he put a book together called Tibetan Book of Living. So yeah. Yeah, so just by hearing that, that text recited, to the deceased, they can be liberated that way. It'll be so much easier, right? So of course it's not that easy, but but in your mind, of course, the Nyingma practitioner, they have this 100% faith that yes, it's going to work that way. And with that faith, they recite, and it may help also, but we cannot like prove and say that okay, that person is liberated now by hearing this. It's just like believe that it will help that person. So, but the person, the deceased person. So the person the deceased person, if he has done a lot of practice during his lifetime, and then he has some experience, and then at the time when he died or when he dies or when he's in the intermediate state, if he hears that, maybe that can help him to be liberated. If he already has some realization and lots of experience and some realization already. So those are like uncommon practices. Right? So then there's also saying that if you hear this in the morning, if you hear this in the morning, you'll be enlightened in the morning. If you hear this in the afternoon, you'll be enlightened in the afternoon. If you hear this in the evening, you'll be enlightened in the evening, like that. So that's not for anybody, it's not referring to everybody who hears in the morning will be enlightened in the morning. It's not like that. Somebody who has already have a very high realization, and then they're already like ready to be matured, matured. So very ready to mature, to the enlightened state. Then they hear in the morning, they will be enlightened in the morning. Like
그래서 오늘 전에 냠을 채다 된다. 이선 된다. 오늘 전에 편집에 된다. 따다 연하는 것을 보다 너무 대명하다 그 좋으면 도
So, in the Tara prayers, right, in the benefits of Tara prayers, it says that if you recite the Tara prayers, then those who wish to have a son will have a son. Those who wish to have a wealth will have a wealth. If you recite, so it's 2, 3, and 7 times like that.
지금 나도 노르는 자자로 빼잖아. 나도 노르는 자자로 왔어.
And so, but doesn't happen, right? So we recite so many times, and we always wish, to have more wealth, but we don't get wealth, right?
근데 이제 더 오늘 지 공사야 지 또번 돈보 다른 냠양을 세다 전에 따도 되는 거였어 봐.
And so if you already have a high realization and a very high level practitioner, then it is applicable to you.
오 틀리다 가지 그러고 딱 배셔야 되는 대란 니빠 매와도 되는 말이야. 간증하고 말할 거는 때 맞아 와도 돼그 도구면에.
So yeah, so from the practice side and from the text, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, from that side, yeah, there is a power there. But from our side, if we are not, to that level, then it won't be able to benefit us.
Okay? Yes.
When you say the intermediate state, you're talking about the bardo?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you know the Pardo, but you don't know the intermediate state.
Part of Tibetan.
You know Tibetan.
That's good. Okay.
Does it, do all the traditions of Tibetan Buddhism have the Prasangatha school? Do they take that view?
Yes.
All of them?
강가요. 이나야티 따위 거니 따지 제트마다 마보요.
Yes, the view is same, but then maybe there may be differences in the way it is explained.
근데 틀리려나 틀린 대화자다 말하고 저는 그래.
The different words, so same meaning but different words, so and then different way of explaining. There could be like that.
이제 차선다 뭐네 사실 좀 되게 진주. 다 나지 엄마 단집에 따와 차선 따와도 이 참이 이라 그러.
Yes, from every tradition you can gain enlightenment, so you have to have that. Yeah. So it's all, Buddha, everybody is, all of them are follower of Buddha and they all, follow the Prasangika Madhyamika's view.
근데 딱그 오늘 지나 그 강가 직구로 제다 만나와 지 로다 만나버리면 이제 그거 집어차려로 하면서.
It's just a different way of doing, otherwise what you're doing is same, but different way of doing it.
그래서 딱 집어서 만나와도 제다도 만나면 용거래.
So yeah, I do it in this way and he does in that way, and then you follow me, my way, and then you become my tradition, and then he follow his way, then you become his tradition. So it's just like that, Yes, otherwise what we are doing is same, but it's just done in different ways.
들은 미쳐도 남주라고 봐서 배는 도와라 라마들의 배와 있나야. 소수 취주때 마인배에다 나 라마도 시험에다 노출했어. 가제 아니 소수 라마 대화나 그런 소리는 되게 어려워.
So, just like I mentioned, that whenever you see high lamas, then you say, oh, just because it's not from my tradition, I'm not going to receive teaching from that. That's mistaken.
Sure.
To think like this is mistaken. As long as it's a high lama, a qualified lama, and as long as you have faith in that, then it doesn't matter. From whichever tradition it is, you can receive the teaching.
배는 강가라 차셔나. 나 출루 차상기 라마 때 못
So Geshe-la says he has teacher from all different traditions. But even though he is a Gelug, from following the Gelug tradition, but he doesn't accept all the Gelug lamas also. So as long as the Lama, has the qualification, of being a teacher, and from your side you find you have faith in that Lama, then that's good enough. So yeah, if you have the faith and if that Lama has the qualification, then that's okay. You can receive from from the Guru of any tradition. But even if you find the Guru from your tradition, but you don't see the guru has all the qualification and you don't have faith in that guru, then you don't have to receive teaching from him or her.
텐데자다 출입하던 텐데서 텐데지는 출입되는 거라 말이지. 베이드 카레 무긴가서나 텐데 출입되는 거 말이 나도.
So that way also, you can bring harmony, in the different tradition of Buddhism, Otherwise, if you say, oh, I'm from this tradition, that from that tradition, if you see like contradicting, like fire and water, then of course there will be no harmonies.
그래? 다 소소고 그리고 다 라루세가다마데 소소고 지 메도 강압을 때 따다선 아니 신바야 티쇼라 가르치는 적이로.
So yeah, of course you have to, follow one tradition. You can't mix up everything. You have to follow one tradition. Then on top of that, then you can of course have different practice. Receive teaching from different gurus also.
그래서 대가는 내가 하더라고. 뭐 가가 둘이 다시는 먼저 라바 주제는 먼저 연구해서 말아.
So if you say, but if you are not, concentrating on one tradition, then you go to everything, then it will get mixed up, and you don't know what to do because our mind is not broad enough, It's not broad enough. It's not like, it's not flexible enough. Our mind is quite narrowed mind, and if we put everything, onto that, we will not be able to take it. We will be confused. So if we just follow one, and then based on that, and then if there are other practice, similar practice from other tradition, then you can do it. It's okay. It's similar. But if you say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm this, and then you get mixed up in, you won't be able to do even one properly. So that's because there's a difference, right? Because it's a different tradition. The way it is done is different, and it's taught by a different person. There's a different lineage, all these different things. So it's very difficult for us to all put it all together in one, and accept it. So it's going to be confusing for us, for ordinary people. It's like, if you're advanced, then of course you can do anything, right? But at the beginning level, it is difficult, So you should not like mix up everything. Just follow one tradition, but then you can receive teaching from different traditions also.
Okay? open mind.
That way you become more open-minded. Yeah? So you say, I'm Gelugpa, but I can take teaching from Nyingma teacher or Saja teacher also,
이제는 삼성도 취재도 되는데 다 대라면도 배회라만 하고 해로왔어. 나 니마에는 나 gelong이 나까지든 기도도 말라면 도 왔어. 오늘 답을 남기도 기도도 납작이로 와. 개개서. 제가도 쬐 말어. 이제 다소시다 찍고나 야오면도 고카가를 채놓고 왔어. 만 지금 어디 제자만 암니마 암 gelong을 왔어. 대 암전으로 슉침을 있고 그리고 바자를 먹는 바샤산도 와.
이나다 소소는 직 나한테 제기는 직 저거라.
이나 대체는 이제 이제 그 가까도 그 어디 제가 이렇게 말 대양미 파조와 가지가지 때야 두자들은 통으로 그래.
So like also sometimes mistake from the Lama side, saying like some Lama says, oh, I'm a Gelug and I'm Gelugpa. It's like I'm a follower of Gelug tradition. Gelugpa means Gelugpa. And Nyingma Pa, so when it's a Pa, you add the Pa, that means like you're a follower of that tradition, And then when you say that, and it says, oh, okay, I have to be that, I cannot be that, and like that, and you put the like concept of differences like that, So maybe that's not good either.
그래서 단데 차도 노루 중에 말때 제대로 다 담아 안줘. 고칭에 딱 남아서 개개돼서 노루만 보여.
So it's not your fault. It's the teacher's fault, who express that, and then you feel like, oh, you have to be Gelug, I cannot be Nyingma, I cannot be Satya like that.
오케이. 이제 다 되면도 주도서 개명하지. 간다스. 간다가도 갈라도. 근데 다 가지고 미지마다 제외게 대서 몇정도 또 무지하게 니받침 보여 말이야. 근데 아주 가디 사나 빼패도 버려.
And so anyway, this practice of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, based on that also you do the Mixema recitation with the visualization of the nectar and light flowing down and so forth, and then it becomes very powerful practice.
먼저 개가 개게 Geshe-la 그게 다 먼저 개오지테 되잖아. 미타 미들도로 당할 지금 넣어서 민음 야고 땅을 먼저 지금 먼저 주는 개 무슨만도 주선 거래. 개개 송 말해.
And like one of my teacher, Geshe-la's teacher and Geshe Tsulga's teacher also, say Geshe Urgyen, he always says Mixema. So whenever people come and ask him for advice, he says, oh, I don't feel happy, or I feel like I'm receiving some harms from spirits and nagas and so forth. And he will always say, oh, just recite Mixema, recite Mixema. And that's how he will advise.
들리지는 Rinpoche langone tewa teche jini mithiman damala mithimen ta Rinpoche tangala tene susun konga konda milamnala ya tangada ngone tane Rinpoche yimba ta Rinpoche nambaje susula kiyeshega yewa susula chichewa tenri milam taadu mambu shiya yore
Mission,
mission bala.
And so then also, like, so you visualize, you look at the Lama Tsongkhapa's portrait, like in a thangka or picture or even a statue, and then just with a strong, like 100% faith in Lama Tsongkhapa, and you recite that. And then sometimes, like there are many stories that people have, who have done this practice, and they see Lama Tsongkhapa appearing in a dream, coming in the dream just like a real person, and then interacting with them. And so there are many stories like that people have experienced.
Okay? Yes.
So do you need to precede reciting the
Miksema.
with the seven-limb prayer for this one, or can you, if you're just like doing it?
Anytime.
You don't
Yeah.
have to recite it.
You don't have to recite that. Whenever your mouth's free, just recite. Your mouth free. Right?
So you do work with the hand, right? Your mouth is free, then you can do it.
Yeah. So
if you recite it, all the time, then it becomes a habit of reciting, and then you will keep on reciting all the time.
Okay? Okay, I think it's time now. Not talk too much.
So that's the daily practice, day-to-day practice, how to apply the Buddhist practice in the day-to-day life.
Okay? Then, try to remember to teachings day by day, to be kind to each other, be relaxed. Main things, main things, be relaxed. Do your own things. Be relaxed means don't do your things, just stop that, not like that. Do your things, but be relaxed. Be, open mind. Not try to too stressed, too nervous. Okay? Because everything is like depends on our mind. You really check. We might think, this is terrible, it's it's hurts for us. If you don't care, it doesn't bother you, right? It means very depends on our mind. Therefore, try to relax much as you can. Don't go over. You go over, you will be burned very quickly. Therefore, don't go over. Just like Toro. He never stops. He just walking. Just go there, okay? Okay, thank you. We stop.
Okay. Please turn to page 39 for the Thanksgiving mandala offering. Saji perki juksing me tok tram ri rab ling jin yi de gyen padi sange jing du migte uwagi grokun nam dag jing la chur par shug je tsun lame kutse rab ten ching nam katrin le cho chur gye padang lo sang ten pedron me sasum gi droe mun sel tag tune gyur chik Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. From my two collections, vast as space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Tong Ying Je Zung Du Juk Pe Lam Che Che Tsel Ze Gong Chen Ten Dragon Chagna Pe Mo Tenzin Gyatso La Suwa Deb So Je Den Lun Drub Shu. Page 49, the short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tup Tso Chang Xing Jam Gan Gyel Wei Tenzin Kyong Pel Wei Kunzo Dog Po Ze Chok Sun Kor Wei Leg Man Tu Dru Pa Dak Sok Dul Je Gan Du Jam Ten Shu. Your form embodies all Buddhas. Your nature is that of Vajradhara. You are the root of the three jewels. Homage to you, O Gurus. In short, I seek your blessings, O Protector, to be cared for by you from birth unremittingly throughout all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. O Protector, please grant that it will be auspicious for me to be foremost among your very first circle of disciples, wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes without exception may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Furthermore, in life after life, may I, pleasing him in return, be forever fostered by an accomplished Mahayana spiritual master, the source of every virtue of this world and beyond. In his care, may I acquire in him a firm, unshakable faith, pleasing him by every means possible, doing nothing even for an instant to disappoint. May my spiritual master impart to me every instruction and every teaching in its entirety. Having understood them faultlessly, may I practice them and be able to bring them to perfection. May I never, even for a moment, fall under the sway of malevolent teachers and misleading friends. Having developed in every life belief in cause and effect, renunciation, the Bodhi mind, and the pure view, may I embark upon them continually with effortless experience. In every life, may every virtuous act gathered by way of body, speech, and mind be causes solely for the welfare of others and for the purest and highest enlightenment. Page 57, prayer dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75, Mingtse Ma. Mig me tse wei ter chen chen resik dri me kien pei wang po jam pel yang gang chen ke pei tsugyen Tsongkhapa lo sang drak pei Jabla Solvade. Thank you, Geshe-la.